All right, what's up, guys? So Ash Bajorn, I think yeah, I feel Ash, it like Ash Bajorn. It like Ash Bajorn. I feel like it might be the correct term of this individual's name. But anyways, this was I think this might have been the last video that they uploaded on this guy. You know what's funny is that I went to this comic book store the other day. I wanted to pick up some because I do have like a comic book channel where I'm just kind of talking on comics and all that stuff. I'm trying to get back into comic books. You know, I did have like a little phase when I was younger and I was kind of into, but it wasn't like comic books like this. It was like Archie, Jughead, stuff like that, Betty and Veronica, I guess if that counts. But anyways, but no, so I'm at the comic book store and I got to thinking about this guy and I was all like, yeah, you know, there's this like racist dude that I see on YouTube. It's funny, the dude that works at the comic book store knew who I was talking about. And I'm like, man, that's one of those things where I'm like, you know, you're making a name for yourself, but in the wrong way, in the wrongest way possible. And it's like you're out here mad about some of the most dumbest things involved in comics. But yeah, I told him how he was upset that Officer Gordon's daughter is black or something like that. And I'm like, fam, I guess like I don't know. With me, I just don't see nothing wrong with it. But then no, that's what the guy had told me, and I'm like, man, that I think that would actually be either whether it's a TV show or a movie. But I think that would be pretty dope if they had two Batmans, Bruce Wayne, and then the black. Because no, they was in the comics. They did have a black Batman, and I can't think of the guy's name, but I think it's like. I think in the comics, I don't know. Maybe some people might be reading that comic. All right, I ain't gonna spoil. I was getting ready to say something. I feel like people might have already kind of had the illusion of what I was getting ready to say. But overall, some events happen, and then yeah, Black Batman. He makes his way around. I'm telling you right now, if DC or whoever they contacted me and they're all like, hey, you fit the frame of a Black Batman, we want to hire you to be Black Batman. 100. The thing is this. I'll be like at one of those like Comic Con or something like that. I will be like walking through the crowd, just kind of smiling. I will make sure of it that I make eye contact with him and just laugh. I'm gonna just let out the most craziest laugh possible, just to let him know. I'm like, yeah, bro. I don't care about your own personal opinion or what's your preference and all that stuff. I'm Black Batman, and I'm getting paid to be Black Batman. So, anyways, but let's see what this video is all about. The most racist comic book geek hates the new Fantastic Four movie, and that's like, yeah, it's probably just for something stupid. But make sure if you guys haven't, go subscribe to Ash Bajorn for more videos like this. And with that being said, I can't hear nothing. What's going? Oh, it's muted. That's why I didn't even press the mute button. That's the wild part about it. But anyways,
I don't know what the hell is going on with the continuity, but the guy is changing every single scene. One scene, he looks like he's a 300-pound Mexican gardener who needs to get sent back over the border by ICE.
Wow.
And
And my thing is this: do you think he would have said that to Pedro Pascal's face? No, he wouldn't. It's one of those things where it's like if he was approached by him after he made a comment like that, I guarantee it's either gonna be something where it's like, okay, he knows cameras are around, so he's just gonna troll Pedro. But other than that, it's like if it like let's just say it was like he's seen him and they were like it was at a restaurant or something, and yeah, I guarantee and I promise you, if Pedro's seen this video or his video, it recognized him. He's like, it's gonna probably be somewhere he tried to like, oh, let me hurry up and get my phone out so I can record him and stuff. And it's like, yeah, bro, nah, you getting ready to catch these Fantastic Four hands.
he's really skinny and weak looking, like some skeleton who didn't get his taco in time.
Just before this video starts, I do want to mention that I have a Discord server. Join if you want to, suggest new video ideas, or come hang out with us.
This man's just racist for no reason.
Like pretty much everything else on my channel, so why not subscribe? Thanks. Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be revisiting a topic that I sure do like to come back to, at least every now and again. And it seems that in this video, just like his other tirades on Pedro Pascal, the last person on Earth that should be talking about anybody's facial features seems to have gone back to his old ways. As in, he seems to be way more focused on race than he usually is. Who am I kidding? He's usually like that. But very recently, he just did a terrible review on the Fantastic Four movie that just came out. And as you may know, Johnny Storm, Human Torch, is my favorite character in Marvel. And it seems that this guy has some weird fixation on Johnny Storm being gay in the movie, which was never even a point or a subplot in the movie at all. There's nothing ever about that. He also seemingly has this weird fixation on the Thing being Jewish, which make of that what you will. But similar to how we did the Captain America Brave New World video, we're going to do the same with this. We'll go over what he says, dunk on him a little bit, and then I'll give you my review on the actual movie.
I watched Fantastic Four First Steps the same way I watched Superman.
Yeah, it's like he should be the last one talking about people, because if it was a toss up between looking like Pedro Pascal or that guy, the racist guy, I'm like, fam, I'm like, I don't care. You could have me look like Pedro when he was younger, middle-aged, or even elderly. This man, and I know it's gonna sound kind of weird saying this, but I feel like that he's always going to he's gonna be better looking than that guy versus that guy where I'm all like, yeah, it's like your teeth look like a person's like hand straightened out and stuff. Like this is what his teeth look like, where it's kind of just it's like skyscrapers. I've said that before. That man's teeth, it doesn't look right. It looks like two big doors, but like somebody had like kind of left the door partially open and stuff. It's like one of those like them like medieval type doors where it's like you gotta use both your hands to push it out and stuff. Yeah, that's what his teeth look like. Look at his teeth again. I guarantee and I promise you, you're gonna start thinking of that Martin Lawrence movie Black Knight when he time traveled back into the medieval days. And you're gonna get they had like one of those doors you got. Was it the one you got like pull a rope, then the thing like lifts up? Either way, it's like, fam, your teeth, I don't know, it looks like a Dodge emblem on a Durango or something. It ain't lining up, you know. Like literally it's not lining up.
Keeping true to the wallet's closed motto. Don't go to the cinema. Do not give these people your money. Fantastic Four First Steps is as insufferable as Superman. I still stand by what I said. Superman was one of the worst movies I've ever seen, and I've seen movies from all different time periods, countries, genres, and a lot that you have not even heard of. So do not come in here and try to attack me.
Yeah, like what kind of movies did you see that
he looks like a punk version of Carrie, that 1970s movie with the girl. She had like the powers and stuff and burnt down her. Well, it was like, yeah, I think, yeah, she burnt down the whole school and stuff. But anyways, yeah, he kind of looked like a punk version of her, or like a emo Wendy's person and stuff. Like but he don't look like. I guarantee and I promise you, mute the video and then just listen to this, don't even listen to him. Just mute the video and stuff and just look at his face. He looks like a woman.
Are you gonna tell us that you watched The Godfather played backwards in fucking Italian or something? Also, if you do go on the guy's channel, he had a really apparent hate boner for Superman, saying the usual crap he says about literally anything. It's gay, it's woke, it's trash, it's retarded, it's all this. But the reviews don't say that. Anybody who likes comic books and is an actual comic book fan either enjoyed it, or if they didn't go online and start spewing the utter hogwash that you are. Your reviews on things literally make no sense at all. The only thing that you do and say is the same grifter shtick as pretty much everybody else. You say something, don't back it up, and instead of backing it up, you insert a clip from a film or a movie that's supposed to convey your emotion or feeling towards the film. You calling things gay and woke the entire time during a review.
And then I haven't seen the Superman movie. And then I just remember from Fantastic Four, I don't know if they changed it up, I guess like the characters or something, but either way. But I think there is because there's this song that's been blowing up. I just used this song recently because they came out with like a superhero game. But anyways, there's this song that's been blown up from the Superman movie, and he's like, there's a part where I think he has like Lois Lane and he's like flying upward and he's kissing her and stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, how is that? I don't know if I'm allowed to say the word and stuff, but that's because I'm like, YouTube be tripping about it. I just got respect for people where I'm like, I'm not going to say it, but you all already know what I'm trying to say but not say and stuff. But and then with Fantastic Four, it's like, isn't it like Johnny Storm, like he's like a ladies guy? Like, I don't know. Again, still I haven't seen that movie, so but yeah, I'm like, fam, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, if they change it up, then they change it up. You cannot have a say so about it though. So it's something with that guy where I'm like, yeah, bro, you got issues. But anyways,
not only lazy, but it starts to show that you have an obsession with a certain group of people, which if you do, I mean, hey, that's your life, man, go for it, but don't try to act like you hate them.
And Fantastic Four is not nearly as bad, I'll tell you the truth, but there is a lot of wokeness and that cannot be denied. So anybody in the review saying that it isn't woke, do not believe them. It most certainly is. But I can't really be that serious talking about this movie.
How is it
because
woke?
even though it is a disgrace to the original comics, Marvel, Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, it's also just hilariously cringe. And I don't really give a rat's ass about spoilers, so if you do, then you're miserable and you shouldn't really be watching this video. And for those of you who are ready to witness what Fantastic Four First Steps really was, I salute you, because sometimes it gets so cringe you feel like you're literally about to die. Everything from every Marvel movie that was back.
I think he forgets that, you know, yeah, there's going to be those people where they grew up reading the comics. And so obviously, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I'm, you know, getting a chance to see the like comics that I read when I was a kid. I'm getting a chance to see it as a movie. So I think if anything, they're going to probably just see if the movie is accurate like the comics and stuff, where it's like, okay, are they going to involve this? Are they going to involve that? You know, and I guess like, yeah, they are going to change it up, add some stuff, because if you see how like small a comic, I guess like if you are not really into comics like that, comics are small. So it's like, yeah, if it's like them small, my thing is this. If you're just having like those parts that happens in the comics, that's gonna probably just be like a 30-minute movie, if anything, you know, probably less than that. And so they have to add stuff. They got to change up things. They got to have it where it's like you're watching this movie, you're getting a feel of the comics, but it's a whole new experience. So I'd say that just from the times where I've had to, I don't know, I'm not gonna compare what I've done to like, you know, what these guys have done like with Marvels, but I'm like the times where I've kind of worked on some little short films stuff here and there and things. Yeah, it's like it's one of those things where I guess people probably are like, wait, you know, worked on short. It's like Rockstar editor from Grand Theft Auto. Like it's not like, you know, actors was hired and all that other stuff. Yeah, no, I wasn't doing all of that. I would like to though one day, but anyways, but yeah, overall though, it's like I guess like I'm just speaking from my own experience where it's like, you know, you did the best that you could. So it's like, but then yeah, then you got room to improve if something is wrong with it. But yeah, I just with Fantastic Four and Superman, you'll hear those people where they just try to rage bait and stuff and just get people upset. But at the end of the day, it's like that's another thing too that I was getting ready to say is that the movie is more so meant for kids. You know, like yeah, adults, you can watch it, but it's one of those movies where it's like, okay, I want to be able to, you know, see it where there's that, like if I'm the director or writer, whatever, producer, and then you know, a kid is watching this movie, I want them to walk up out of there thinking that they are Johnny Storm or Mr. Fantastic, or you know, or like if it's a little girl or something, then the girl, I'm not good with names, people, but yeah, the girl that is a part of Fantastic Four. But I want kids to leave up out of there where it's like they think that they're that character or they want to be that character for Halloween and stuff, you know. But it's like, yeah, but some random guy overseas where it's like your teeth is like it's not your teeth is it ain't straight. let's just say that. But anyways, but yeah, overall, it's like I'm not doing the movie for you. It ain't, if you don't like it, it's like okay, then don't like it. But it's like the way that you're criticizing it, it's like, fam, ain't nobody gonna take a hold of that information and run with it. So
weird gayness, obnoxious Marvel humor, radical feminism, and then there's the thing which I'll get into a second, or maybe I might not, because that rant is something that a lot of people aren't really ready for. So from the opening scene of this movie, you know what it's gonna be. You think it's a superhero movie. It's gonna be like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. No, it opens with Pedro Pascal in a wife beater walking around looking for his shirt or something. And with the homo Freddie Mercury mustache and the brown skin, he looks like he's walking around looking for his taco or his boyfriend. And all while this is happening, Sue Storm is sitting on the toilet and screaming out like, give me 12 more seconds. And if you thought that she had a bad case of resting bitch face in every single trailer, it just gets worse. I don't know if it's because she's pregnant or something, but she's always in a mood, and Sue Storm is the biggest feminist bitch on the planet. Also, a quick little note about Pedro Pascal in this movie. I don't know what the hell is going on with the continuity, but the guy is changing every single scene. One scene, he looks like he's a 300-pound Mexican gardener who needs to get sent back over the border by ICE.
that's crazy. That is a
And
crazy
the next,
statement.
he's really skinny and weak looking, like some skeleton who didn't get his taco in time. And speaking of that, I know the Fantastic Four are supposed to age when they come back from that first trip, but the footage of the team on the TV before they went up to that first trip is really retarded. So it shows you the footage. Sue has her usual bitch face on. The thing is, they're looking all Jewish, and that's his entire character. That's the rant we're gonna get to in a second, or maybe I might not even talk about it, because it's really extreme, but it's the truth.
Hey moron, whenever you film somebody, especially from a different angle, they're gonna look different. That's just kind of the way the world works. I don't know why anybody had to explain that to you. Maybe those homeschooling lessons aren't really working out for you as well as you thought. By the way, I had a stream last night, and a guy named Seamus came over from one of the other Ranting for Vengeance videos, popped into the stream, and apparently he knew Ranting for Vengeance in real life, or rather he just went to school with him. Came in with an insane lore dump. The guy got kicked out of school apparently for starting a fight, and he's been the laughing stock of the school ever since. Now everything kind of makes sense when you think about it.
That's the rant we're gonna get to.
Wow. That's funny how that stuff worked too. I'm like, nah, the times where I done got into it with people, and then it'll be like somebody that knows them where they're like, oh yeah, you know, they wet the bed, and it's like, oh yeah, that's a common thing that they do when they were kids and stuff. They're like, no, they just did it. They just wet the bed and stuff, you know, and they're trying to justify it and say that it was a Red Bull. And I'm like, Red Bull don't, yeah, after when you done drink too many Red Bulls, no, it's just that ain't never happened. I'm just you saying that as an example, but no, but it's just funny to me when stuff like that, when it happens. I'm like, no, that's funny. I encourage more of that, you know, when there's that like just, you know, that content creator where it's like they say and do things that's like super offensive. I encourage people that actually know them to expose them for who they really are, or at least give us answers on the reason on why they became the person that they are today. But anyway,
a second, or maybe I might not even talk about it, because it's really extreme, but it's the truth. I know the Thing is a Jewish character, and Jack Kirby was Jewish, and it was intended that way, but this movie amps it up to 11. Every scene with the Thing, he has no personality, he has no love interest or friends or anything. The dude is just some one-dimensional character whose entire personality trait is, hey look, I'm Jewish. Walking around a New York neighborhood, and oh wait, look in the background, there's synagogues and Stars of David everywhere. But anyways, we'll move on before that gets a little bit...
Who pays attention to stuff like that? That's one thing I'm telling you. When they do things like that, I'm sitting down and watching the movie, and then I might do it as a joke where it's like I'm, you know, just, but it's not like stuff like, I know that because my mom, she's really big into the Wizard of Oz, and so I'm like, I'll say it as a joke where I'm like, you know, Dorothy was high, right? Like my thing is this: if you are in your home and your home get to spinning around in this tornado, and then what else, then yeah, you're talking to a Tin Man, a lion, and a scarecrow, and you're trying to find like the Wicked Witch of the East West, whatever witch it was. She's green, and then this other witch floats to you in a bubble, and she's the good witch. Then there's the bat. That girl was high. She took shrooms and she was high. I'll say things like that as a joke, but I'm like, but my thing is this though, I also watch that movie to be entertained. I'm not watching that movie, I'm like, oh, I gotta nitpick at all these different things and stuff. You're not gonna enjoy the movie that way. But people that do stuff like that, I'm like, hey, look, you don't like the movie, that's on you. I'm still gonna watch it. I'm still gonna be a fan of it. There's people that then did stuff like that before, and as a joke, okay, but if you're being dead serious about it, yeah, no, bro, go somewhere else with that.
Too risky.
Yeah, notice how he didn't show any proof for that at all. Like there's no pictures, there's no links to any articles about this at all. Nobody even said anything about this. I didn't even notice it. I was watching the movie. Maybe there might have been one in a passing shot, but even if there was, so what? To say that that's the Thing's entire character in this movie is actually pushing it. I seriously don't know what this guy's fixation on Jewish people is or gay people is. And in the last video that we did where he was talking about the Fantastic Four before the movie even came out, he was saying pretty much the exact same thing. I will say though, with the Thing, a core component to his character is how he's viewed by the rest of the world, how he's seen as a monster. People avoid him. He's not like Bruce Banner. He can't just transform into the Hulk and turn back into a normal person. In my opinion, I would have liked to see a little bit more of that in the movie, but then again, this is about 3 years after the Fantastic Four debuted, so I guess people have gotten used to it, with the Fantastic Four seemingly being the only team in New York or the world, because no other team was mentioned, so I guess people just kind of got over it quickly.
Johnny shows up in this footage looking really gay with his lipstick and his bleached blonde hair. Flaming gay Johnny Storm is the highlight of this this movie, and I mean that in every way.
So based on his logic, right, where it's like he's say, because okay, so my thing is this: don't most women have long hair? Like they keep their hair all like long down and all that other stuff. Which you got going on. Just my thing is this, just to give you the same energy that you're putting out. Like, I'm not saying that about everybody, but just him in particular. What does that make you, where it's like, yeah, he looks like a woman that's attracted to other women, and she's a professional, not even professional, like she's an amateur boxer, but she done lost more fights than she done won. So that's what I'm giving out right now. Like, you don't have no facial hair, you just got long hair, nothing. Like, it's just, yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, sir, if it's a toss-up between Johnny Storm, the guy that's playing as him and stuff, and you, if there was like, who do you think used to be a woman before? I'm like, him 100%. It's like, you can kind of see, like, he don't have like, no, most guys, like, they have kind of like that look after they unshaved or something. He ain't got that. I'm like, I don't know, maybe he's just too young or something. But yeah, if not that, then it's like, yeah, bro, it's like, if just even right here, he looks like Louise from Thelma and Louise. Like, he looks like if they were to do a new version of that movie, that's gonna be Louise. So.
The guy is nearly the only guy that you can root for, and then at the same time, he's pulling the most spasticated, handicapped, retard faces in every single scene. No, that's not an over-exaggeration, it's not a joke. This is the first scene of the movie, where they're all sitting down to have family dinner. The Thing tastes some sauce or food he's making like a normal person. Johnny then walks into the room, tries to taste it, and instead shoves his 2 fingers into his mouth.
Nice.
And with the face that he pulls here, God knows what else this guy is putting in his mouth. More on him in a second, but the important part that I was trying to get to is that Pedro Pascal...
I mean, I guess, like, there's that. I'm like, yeah, I ain't never did no stuff like that where I'm, yeah, that might be doing a little bit too much, but who's paying attention to that, though? Like, I guess, like, yeah, if you do say anything about it, it's like you're cracking jokes. It's like, dang, bro, it's like it ain't like you dumped your whole fingers in there. It's like, you just like, you do some stuff like that, but it's like you did, like, yeah, bro, it's like you doing too much. But other than that, it's like, I'm not gonna make a whole video about it. So anyway,
still looks like a 90-year-old taco vendor in this footage. He's supposed to have gray hair when he comes back from the trip. Now he just looks like somebody's great grandfather. The dude refuses to shave off his little gay mustache for every role. He looks nothing like Reed Richards, because Reed Richards is white. And he's some Mexican dude, or Chilean, or whatever the hell. He's brown. That's all you need to know. And yeah, it would have been a bit more accurate if he shaved his border-hopping face. But still, he doesn't look like Reed Richards. I was talking with somebody, and they said that David Corn Sweat might have actually been a better Mr. Fantastic. He would have looked a lot more like Reed Richards, and the guy's really nerdy.
And my thing is this, okay, so let's say they went with that guy. What would you have said about him that was like, oh, he looks like this guy, and he looks like he's like, fam, either way, I felt like that he wouldn't have been satisfied. Like, he wants the movie to be done in his likings, and I'm like, what, a bunch of Trump supporters? You're like, yeah, the fantastic Trump 4 or something. Like, that's it. And it's like, fam, you're not even from this country. So it's like, it's just that energy, that racism. It's like, yeah, you would thought that this dude was like down south holding a rifle with an American flag and like some Trump 2026 the like thing going across his shirt. It's like, yeah, bro, you it's just the way they just that energy that he got going on. It's like, yeah, bro, you not 2026, would it be 2028 because he was elected? So yeah, so, anyways, but yeah, bro, you just got you got too much dip in your chip. It's like you got way too much going on, and it's like, yeah, bro, you gotta relax because it ain't that deep.
Real life, so he probably would have fitted the role.
Like, I guarantee and I promise you, me not knowing absolutely nothing about if there was a toss up, like let's say if Marvel, DC, they were hosting an event where there's like, yeah, just showcasing all these different comic books and all that stuff, and they wanted one of us to be the host of that event, Who do you think is going to be the host? The funny thing is, the only knowledge that I have of comic books is from the very few comics that I've read and the very few movies that I've seen. But if somebody asks me, have I seen the Iron Man movies? No. Have you seen the Captain America movies? No. Have you seen the Thor movies? Bits and pieces. I guess like, yeah, bits and pieces of all of them. But overall, at the end of the day, I have not sat down and fully watched and fully read any. I think the one comic that I did read, it was like a Marvel Zombies comic. That was the first time I ever read a comic book. Was it that, or was it? Yeah, no, it was Marvel. It was. See, that's the thing. I don't even know what comic book I read. So like, yeah, it's like, bro, you at the end of the day, it's like if you think anybody is going to get your views from on comics and movies and all that, they're not. People are just making it's pretty much what you had going on in school. People are just sitting around laughing at you.
You got this homo hombre who's just crying for the entire movie, and I'm not joking. In certain shots he's really skinny, in other shots his head is the size of the room, and in other shots he's wearing eyeliner or something and looking extremely gay.
Yeah, bro, you said that like 5 times. I think everybody who's watching heard you. We got ears, bitch. We can hear. I genuinely think that there's something wrong with this guy's brain, or there might be like a disconnect or something, because pretty much anybody who watched his other Fantastic Four movie reviews or him talking about it or whatever, make it clear that this is an alternate universe, and it's pretty apparent by the trailers, or even if you just watch the movie. We've been over this.
I learned that from when the Spider-Man movie that they did, where it's like they kind of acknowledge maybe they acknowledged it in other movies and I'm just forgetting, but in the Spider-Man movie where they had all 3 of the Spider-Mans, yeah, it's like they acknowledged it, that there's like different universes and stuff. So I kind of have like an imagination on because they are going to come out with another Avengers movie, and I think they did say the Fantastic Four cast was going to be in there, and I'm like, yeah, I definitely have like an idea of how that movie is going to turn out and stuff. It's going to probably end up being good. So, but yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm like, yeah, the way that he's just talking on it, it's like, fam, you're upset about nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Genuinely can't be this hard to understand a simple concept like that. Like, I'm genuinely convinced that this guy, whenever he sees Pedro Pascal anywhere, he just sees Speedy Gonzalez. When I first saw Pedro Pascal, I didn't think he was Spanish, and I damn sure didn't think he was from Mexico. Like he keeps saying, he's not from Mexico, by the way. He's Chilean. That's also something we've been over. Little things like him having darker skin than Reed, or him not having as much gray hair, or him having a mustache, in my opinion, I feel like is all just kind of answered by it being a different universe. Because, you know, I've said this before, if you were to make a story about another superhero team but keep everything the same, why even make that story? Like, it doesn't make any sense. If your story takes place in a different universe, in the multiverse, things are going to be different.
And there's many scenes that are like that throughout the entire movie, where flaming Johnny
Storm. That's the thing, where it's like, it's not like they're acknowledging it, or it's like, oh, hey guys, it's like I'm darker than the other, Mr. Fantastic characters and stuff, I guess. Because I mean, they did like those Fantastic Four movies back then, like Fantastic Four and then Silver Surfer. But other than that, it's like, did they do anything else? Like maybe they cartoons and stuff like that. But yeah, it's not like they're acknowledging it or talking on it, or it ain't like it's going to matter and stuff. But yeah, overall, it's one of those. It'll be funny though. Like, let's say if they did like a Fantastic Four movie where it's kind of like how they did the Spider-Man movie, where they have like all the Fantastic Four characters and stuff just kind of together and stuff. So yeah, like the original Fantastic Four movie, and then that one that they had Michael B. Jordan in, and then this one. I'll watch it,
Gage and Pascal start hugging each other and grabbing each other by the necks and looking deeply into each other's eyes. I'm just gonna put some screenshots up on the screen right now and just some clips so you can see what I'm talking about.
I take back every single bad thing I've been saying about you. You are gonna be the best dad. Just kidding. You are out of your depth.
It's like, what?
Johnny Storm is
I don't know. With me, it's like I usually back up when people be getting close, but at the end of the day, it's like I'm not like, hey, get off of me. Like you're getting too close. I only like women. that's probably something that he would say. It's like, no, you don't. You look like a woman, but you definitely I feel like that there's definitely going to be some moments where we catch this man. He is going to be at some, you know, a club of some sorts where there's a lot of men there. There ain't a whole lot of women unless they're, you know, there to see the men. But he's definitely going to be one of those guys where it's like, yeah, bro, it's we kind of had an idea, you know, we were thinking about it when we were watching your videos, but yeah, it's like the way that that guy got you bent over and stuff. Yeah, we kind of had a feeling, you know. So
autistic in this movie, it's unbelievable. I heard some reviewers saying that I don't know why Joseph Quinn came out and said that he wasn't a womanizer, because in the movie the biggest plot point that he is a womanizer, especially for Shala Ball, the fake female Silver Surfer bitch, and she's an entirely different story. For everybody defending the CGI and the casting, just no. Just plain no. The CGI is laughably bad, as you could tell from the trailers. Everybody telling you that this looks amazing is lying. Not to mention that, I'm sorry, Shala Ball, you're a little bit too flat for anybody to tell you're even female.
Are we dead ass
Wow.
right now? We can't be serious. I do just want to say something about Johnny Storm before we even continue. He got his powers when he was, what, 16 in the 60s? The first teenage superhero before Spider-Man. And if this is 3 years later, he's 19 or maybe he's even 20 in this movie. Honestly, it really doesn't matter, especially because of his character. Johnny's character, primarily in the comics, is that of an immature teenager. The amount of times that Johnny has messed something up, either for Reed or the team, because he's playing around or joking around, either just by himself or with Spider-Man, is so much that you probably couldn't even count it on your hands and your toes. So him dipping his entire hand into a pot that he's trying to taste, I really wouldn't say that that's off-brand for him. And him getting sidetracked and hugging Reed because he's excited about the new spacesuits that they got, while not really focused too much on why they need the spacesuits, is also pretty on brand for the character. Now, like I said before, Joseph Quinn definitely could have done a little bit of a better job, or at the very least the writing for Johnny Storm, especially between him and Ben Grimm, could have been a little bit more playful, or at least that's how I would have had it. But none of the stuff that this guy brings up in this video is off brand for Johnny Storm. This is stuff that he would definitely do in the comics, and if he were a real life person, I bet you he would do it in real life too. And that last part about Shala Ball, what are you even talking about, bro? Like, there's no way this isn't bait. Is she supposed to be some ultra hot curvy woman or something? Like, I don't, that's not the focus of the movie.
yeah.
A little bit too flat for anybody to tell you're even female that far off. That's just me being honest. You could have gotten a hotter actress to come in and play somebody who's gonna get womanized by Johnny Storm. Instead, it's this short-haired bitch who's as flat as a plank of wood, and also she's extremely annoying. But the weird thing is, after the retarded gay antics of autistic Johnny Storm, the storyline between him and Shala Ball, which isn't really a character, that storyline is the only redeeming quality in the entire movie. But it usually gets ruined by jokes or just plain bad writing, so it's not really worth mentioning. So far I covered Sue's bitch face, Jewish thing, eyeliner Mexican Pedro Pascal who looks nothing like Reed, and then the freaky gay Johnny Storm who had his fingers and everything else in his mouth. But now we're gonna get on to some other stuff, like the setting that everybody was saying worked so well and how awesome it was. I don't know where the hell we are. This movie is extremely inconsistent with the continuity of the actors, with the powers of the Fantastic Four, which by God is the crescendo of the cringe. But we'll get to that. The setting is what I'm talking about now, because what the hell is going on? It's some retro futuristic 60s world. Normal people are in like Blade Runner flying cars. It's all kind of jumbled and we never really get an explanation to where the hell we are. And speaking of not knowing where you are, it doesn't really help
an alternate universe. Like, the thing is this, I'm not in the comic books like that, but that's the thing where it's like, if I've heard it with like other stories involving comics where it's like they mention alternate universes, that's when my mind automatically goes to, where it's like, okay, I'm sitting in the theaters watching this movie and I ask myself that question, what time period are they in? Because even when I was watching the trailers and stuff, I was like, oh, so it looks like it might like take place back in the old days and stuff. But if not that, then it's like, okay, it's like a futuristic, but like an old world. Either way, it's not the same as our universe. It's different. What part of that do you not understand?
But every single person in New York City is not white. There's brown people, there's black people who get a big load of screen time. I don't know how the hell there was that many in New York at this time period. Maybe that's why they needed an alternate universe.
Right there. You just said it. you just said why there could be a bunch of other black people in the 60s in New York, and why people are in Blade Runner like cars or whatever the fuck you said. That isn't even true either. It's just the Fantastic Four that's flying around. What are you talking about? And plus, even in real life, New York City was starting to become more diverse in the 60s. It's not like black people weren't a thing in New York, bro.
But there's 10 times too much wokeness and diversity. That's what this is. We're getting shown little black kids every single second, like we're in Africa. And then the next second, we're getting a scene with the Thing where he's walking in.
How is it? Okay, so they probably they showed like a few black kids and stuff. How does a few black kids in the city remind you of Africa? Like, have you ever even been to Africa? It's funny when like people, when they make statements like that, and it's like, have you been there? Do you know what Africa looks like? I'm like, I don't know what Africa looks like, but I'm also not gonna make some racist comments all like, oh, this looks like this should be Africa or something. No. Africa is its own place. New York is its own place. But yeah, in the alternate universe of Fantastic Four, it's going to be its own place either way. So it's just, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, sir, I can see why you got kicked out of school. I'm like, education, that wasn't in your plan. That wasn't in the script with you.
To his local synagogue for some reason, and he's in there for like 10 minutes. Now, I don't know, comic fans out there try to update me here, and I mean real comic fans who read their original Stan Lee, Jack Kirby stuff. Was the Thing's ethnicity or religion as prevalent in the original comics as it was here? And people are saying that Pedro Pascal acted his ass off, and he most definitely is the leader of the team, which is just not true. Acting your ass off equates to crying over a baby that should not be in this retarded movie. Just like Superman, we came in 2 movies too late. And now onto the final nail in the coffin. There's probably more shit I could call out, but this movie, this is the end of it right here when this scene happened. I'm talking about Sue Storm, which at the start of the movie can go invisible and use a small bit of telekinesis. And by the end of the movie, she's Luke Skywalker. That's not a lie. In this obnoxious scene where she has to give birth and is screaming with her bitch plastic surgery face, Johnny tries to come over and help her out, and she just ends up force choking him like Darth Vader. Now, I don't know about you, but I've never seen Invisible Woman or Invisible Girl or whatever the hell she's called do that. Ever. And that was just the tip of the iceberg, because at the end of the movie, Galactus comes to Earth. And yeah, Galactus isn't that bad in this movie. Galactus and the parts with Johnny Storm where he doesn't act gay and retarded are the only good things in the movie. And it's not even that good. If you want what Galactus does in this movie, watch Godzilla -1 or any Godzilla movie for that matter. And they have to devise a big Marvel humor plan to take down Galactus. And all of it goes to crap. And you know what it results in? It results in Sue Storm standing in the middle of the street and using the Force on Galactus. And no, not a small little push. With her feminist bitch face, she can just scream at Galactus and literally push the guy over. Yeah, we're talking about Galactus here, the guy who eats planets.
It's just, watching this, it's like, fam, I would really love for him to have that same energy in front of any of those guys' faces. But it's just the way that he talks. He's definitely one of those individuals where it's like, though his energy only gonna keep it indoors. He goes outside. I'm pretty sure, I don't know where exactly he lives in the world, but yeah, my thing is this: if it's diverse, if he lives like, yeah, he ain't gonna have that same energy. And even if there is a time where he travels out somewhere, he ain't gonna be talking crazy to Ash Bajorn. He definitely wouldn't be talking crazy to me, because I'm most likely gonna be it's gonna be one of those things where it's like, let's say if me and our paths had crossed and he had that same energy, by the end of the day, I'm most likely gonna be taking a mugshot. And I guess, like, if I post that mugshot of me smiling, you know how that situation turned out. So, but anyway, he comes off as the type of person, you're like, well, if I ever see you, I'm putting a bullet in it. And it's like, you ain't doing nothing to nobody. Stop it. Okay. So anyways, but yeah, I'm like, man, hardcore Louise from Thelma and Louise, she talking tough in this video.
Yeah, some ugly feminist can stand in the middle of the road and take him down using her mind powers. Somebody correct me in the comments or whatever. I don't really care if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure, and I don't think that Sue Storm should ever do this.
So you, as a comic book fan, as you would, I guess, call yourself, have never seen Invisible Woman push somebody with her powers? Are we dead ass right now? Also, there's absolutely no issue with Franklin Richards being in the movie. He plays a pretty important role in the story and comes in clutch in the end. And considering how powerful that kid actually is, it makes sense as to why Galactus wanted him in the first place and how Sue got revived in the end anyways. Brother, she's the same person that destroyed a Celestial in Fantastic Four 400. And even if it was one hit, which it wasn't, and it was an actual team effort plus the Silver Surfer to actually get rid of Galactus, that final push killed her. Like, that was the absolute limit of her strength at the time. Anyways, guys, now I'll end this video off by giving you a little bit of my thoughts and rating the movie overall. I really enjoyed the movie. I was glad to see another Fantastic Four rendition, this time in the actual MCU. And, you know, between the Captain America movie and the Thunderbolts, I was really excited for this Fantastic Four movie. I didn't really have a problem with the casting, but at first I did feel a little bit uneasy about the Joseph Quinn Human Torch. But as time went on and the trailers came out and the suits got revealed and we got to see a little bit more of the movie, I didn't really mind it. Like I said before, when I actually saw the movie, that's the only time I really had an issue with Joseph Quinn. And it's clear in my mind that Chris Evans is the best Human Torch, even though that movie comparatively wasn't as good and also didn't do a good job at showing.
And the thing is this, you know, you guys sit down and think like, okay, so let's say there was another actor that did that role. Do you think it would have been as good as their take on Johnny Storm? Do you think it would have been as good as Joseph Quinn, his take on Johnny Storm? So that's what I'm saying. It's like you guys sit down and think about it. Yeah, the last time somebody played as him, you guys got him canceled not even for his acting ability. It's because the man was black. So it's just when you sit down and think about it, it's like, okay, you didn't like the last Johnny Storm, so here we got you a new one. So it's like now it's not because he's black anymore, it's because he looks a certain way. What sense does that make? That's what I'm saying. I'm like, when I watch a movie, my thing is this. If I watch a movie and it gives, like, I'm watching it and it brings me back to that moment where I'm like, I'm a kid, I'm entertained. I'm like, fam, I'm sitting here eating candy and I'm watching like a masterpiece of a movie. That's the feeling that I want to get when I'm watching the movie. I don't care who's playing the role. I don't care what they got going on. As long as the movie is good, that's all that matters to me. So, yeah, and I guess, like, with me, when it's, like, talking on, like, a good movie, acting, CGI, the basics pretty much, you know, but when you're like trying to get all in detailed and being all critical and you're trying to get all technical with it, no, I'm not. That ain't me. I'm one of those individuals. If it's like something funny that happened in the movie, like something that me and the person, like if I'm there watching the movie with somebody, family, friend, girlfriend, whatever, I'm like, yeah, you know, it's one of those things where I'm like, you know, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna crack jokes and, you know, be funny, just be who I am. But at the end of the day, I am going to appreciate if the movie is good or not. So, or if it's not, then I'm like, hey, it's whatever, you know, they did what they had to, they did what they could, you know. So, but anyway,
like this, because I mean he was just a giant space cloud at that point. This movie did get me excited to think about what they would do with Franklin Richards' character, and I don't know when the next time we'll see the Fantastic Four. Maybe it's going to be an Avengers Doomsday, and whatever year that's supposed to be.
I think I heard like that was they might do. Well, I think that Doomsday movie is supposed to be coming out at some point, so that they're just probably like, okay, let's just save all our energy because they gotta do a Fantastic Four movie in between, and then an Avengers Doomsday. Yeah, that's there. Like, no, that's way too much. So, and that thing plus the Sue Storm, then she, like, the actress that played her, she just recently had a kid, I believe. So yeah, she's gonna probably be like, I want to spend some time with my kid, so yeah, let's do this Doomsday movie. But then I got to chill, you know, for a little bit and stuff. So anyways,
happen with that. I'm going to be happy to see them and Human Torch working together with a bunch of the other characters. I'm glad that this movie made me think about the future in a good way, because honestly, that's what movies are supposed to do, especially if they're connected to an extended universe. They're supposed to make you think, oh, what if this character teamed up with this character? They're supposed to get the imagination rolling, and I really enjoyed that. Like I was saying before, though, the Things character, I feel like they could have done a better job at showing maybe what things were like for him in the first year of him actually being the Thing. Maybe he got some stares, maybe people called him a monster and he felt some type of way about it. I just feel like having Things 3 years into the future isn't too good for the Things character, because it really doesn't show his growth and his acceptance of what he has become. But like I was saying, with the last time we were talking about the Fantastic Four, I really like the comic accuracy with the character. He looks a lot better than the last time we saw the Thing. So I'm just glad we got this representation of the character. I don't really care what anybody else says. Reed Richards as Pedro Pascal, it worked. The funny thing is that before this movie even came out, as usual, the grifters would take any little bit of knowledge that they would get from the movie, either leaking or coming from another inside source or from screenings or whatever, and they would go on this tirade about, oh, Sue is going to be the leader of the team, and the MCU, oh, it's killing Marvel. And they would just start whining and complaining about nothing. When in actuality, Reed was clearly the leader. And so when you have one of the best movies of this year come out and pretty much disprove all the lies that has been said, you start getting stuff that's really, really odd, like Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic of all people actually calling the movie good. However, going back to Reed Richards, I feel like Pedro Pascal really fit the character. The way that he was written in this movie, it showed the brainiac side of him just as much as the loving and caring father and brother to Ben Grimm and Johnny Storm that he is. I'm sure when Avengers Doomsday comes along, we'll get that, yeah, I'm Reed Richards, I'm the top intellect in the Marvel Universe type of thing. But for now, this is good. And finally, with Sue Storm, I like how they portrayed her character, and I also think Vanessa Kirby was a good casting for her. Admittedly, if they were to go with a younger actress, I feel like it would be alright too, but I feel like Vanessa Kirby did a good job at embodying what Sue Storm is for the group, which is the mother of the group. Maybe it's because she's pregnant in real life, but I really got the sense that she wasn't going to give Franklin up, even to some primordial god that was born at the beginning of this universe. I also appreciated the fact that they had Sue give her life essentially to defeat Galactus, showing that above all else, she's also a hero. Johnny also almost had a sacrificial play, but got pushed out of the way by Silver Surfer, which, I mean, is also low-key on brand for the character. If you remember what happened with the Negative Zone, then you'll know what I'm talking about. But overall, I give this movie an 8.5 out of 10. Definitely go see it if you like the Fantastic Four. And if you're an actual comic book fan, not in the way that Ranting for Vengeance is talking about. I'm talking about, like, if you, number one, do read the comics, aren't some weirdo who cares too much about race or if somebody's gay or not. And if you're still a fan of Marvel, this movie's for you. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, hit that like button. If you want more content similar to this, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one. Sub up, stay safe.
Oh, he gonna be
peace.
saying some old crazy racist stuff in that Ironheart video, but yeah, it's things like that where it's like, you know, if you got a problem with the movie, then don't watch it. But it's like if you aren't gonna get all technical and you just gonna sit down and enjoy the movie for what it is, then it's like, okay, cool. But it's like all that extra stuff, it's like, fam, it's not needed, it's not necessary, don't nobody care. So but anyways, good video on Ash Bajorn. I'm like, but yeah, the guy that he's talking about, I'm like, nah, bruh. I'm like, she's gonna have to, you know, change up the content and stuff. So, but anyways, yeah, make sure if you guys haven't, go subscribe to Ash Bajorn for more videos like this. Yeah, let's get bro to 10K. All right, so yeah, subscribe to him, like, subscribe to me too, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.